So hello, and here we are at the Ciutat Esportiva with Luis Suárez.
En los últimos 4 partidos habéis ganado los 4.
You've won the last 4 games without conceding any goals. How important is it to continue that dynamic against Granada? So how important is it to continue with such a strong defensive record? Yeah, that's primordial. It's essential for us to keep a clean sheet, and then for the players from midfield working ahead to make a difference, which is what we've done in the last 4 games, because we knew that in the games before that we hadn't been delivering as well as expected up front. We've improved a lot in attack and also in defense.
Los últimos partidos han visto algunas acciones, algún penalti o alguna asistencia que parecía que Messi, por ejemplo, te cedían alguno de los goles. ¿Habéis hablado con Messi?
Talking about penalties and free kings and things, and Messi perhaps handing some of the responsibility over to Luis because he's chasing the leading goal scorer. Yeah, I very much appreciate those gestures, knowing what a top quality player Leo is, but also Iniesta and everybody else in the team. It's not something we've spoken about or agreed about, but they're giving me more opportunities than normal, and that's part of the great spirit among the squad. But if I finish as top scorer and we don't finish as league champions, then it will have served for nothing. Perhaps if you could look back on your season in general. Yeah, very good. I'm happy that I've helped the team. Both winning the Pichichi and the Golden Shoe, as I said, mean nothing if we don't win the league. The thing that happened to me at Liverpool, I was winner of the Golden Shoe. We nearly won the title, but we didn't. But this time it is serving, hopefully, for us to also win the league. At the moment, we're not depending on other results going our way. Talking about perhaps and the passing of brown envelopes, perhaps Madrid paying an incentive for Granada to win. No, I don't believe in that kind of thing. I think teams play for their own pride. Players always want to go out and win games, and we're very proud that we're competing to win a league. All the teams in the league are going to go out and try to win the games this weekend for their own pride, for their own team. Just 2 games to go until the end of the season and a chance to win 2 titles. So are you feeling a bit different amongst the squad? Well, 1 title or both titles, we've got every chance at the moment. We know we're the best team in the world, but we're always under pressure. Our duty is to go out and win. We know that things depend on ourselves. In the league and in the cup, it's down to 1 game where things depend on us and on Sevilla. That's what the cup's all about. Going back to the brown envelopes, you've played in the Uruguayan, the Dutch and the English leagues. Had you ever heard of briefcases, they call them in Spanish, whereas in English we'd say brown envelopes? But do you think they should maybe be legalized? It's not for me to make any decision about legalizing anything. Every team, because of their own pride, wants to go out and win and achieve triumphs. All of the players know what they're doing and they know what they have to do. No, I'd never heard about these things before.
Luis, Carlos Escolán, en directo para Radio Marca. Buenas tardes. Te pregunto a nivel personal, son 4 goles contra el Depor, 4 contra el Sporting.
4 goals against Depor, 4 against Sporting, 1 against Betis, 2 against Espanyol. That's an incredible record at the moment.
¿Te consideras que estás en el mejor momento desde que llegaste al Barça?
Is this your best period of form since joining Barca? It's difficult to say when you're at the peak of your form. Probably best not to speak too soon. But it's all down to how the team's working and the assists that I'm receiving. If we win the league, then these goals will help. But it's the team as a general and their attitude that's most to thank. Barca didn't win the league 2 years ago, slipped away on the final day, so we're in a similar situation now. Is there a need for mental strength? Yeah, you always need to be mentally strong in football. The good thing is that it depends on us. We've got 94 minutes to go out and win a game on which our whole season hangs. But I think we're in the right condition to go into this game. We know there'll be moments when we suffer because that always happens, especially when you're playing away. Talk about how the team's improved since the crisis period. So do you think that you're back to the same positive situation that you're in before that little run of bad results? That's hard to say. Yeah, we did have 39 games without losing, and then we had 4 defeats in 5 games. It's really hard to find an explanation for that. But I think when we went to La Coruña, we realized that, look, we're the same people. Nothing has changed. We're more united than ever. And that was a way of showing that we were still alive. We've been losing games, whether they were fair or unfair defeats. That's not for me to say. But now the league is still in our hands. Looking back in retrospect, whether it's perhaps been negative that himself, Messi and Neymar have played so many games. No, I think a player wants to play as much as possible to get into their rhythm. It's actually harder now when we only have 1 game a week. I don't think that makes any difference. How do you feel as the top scorer at Barca, and do you think you'll retire at this club? I'm very proud of the work I'm doing, but sincerely, the merit comes down to the whole team. If we couldn't get the ball out of defense the way we do, if we didn't create as many chances, then we wouldn't be scoring these goals. And as for what happens in the future, well, you never know. I'd love to stay here because this is the club I always wanted to play at, but it's difficult to predict the future. A question in English? No.
Bien. ¿Crees que tu viaje a Uruguay por cuestiones emocionales?
Do you think your trip to Uruguay for emotional purposes
fue parte de la razón por la cual dejaste de marcar en un periodo?
Had an effect on your negative run that you had back some time? I think I scored against Atletico in the Champions League just 5 days after returning. Probably not the best question.
Per tutto sport, quería preguntarte, desde el año 2009 que ningún delantero desde Eto'o marca más de...
Eto'o in 2009 was the last top scorer at Barca. That hasn't been Leo Messi. Are you proud of that? Yeah, obviously I'm proud, and it's a way of recognizing the work I've done since I've come to the club. It's strange because Leo has always been top in terms of stats. Diego Forlán, of course, was the last league top goal scorer apart from Leo Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. So I'm very proud as a Uruguayan that it was that it's me again after Forlan before. Looking back at his season playing alongside Neymar and Messi, it's a privilege first to play in Barcelona and second to play with players like Neymar, who did so much to help me last season to settle in. He's been a very important teammate, and the rest of the squad have done so much to help me blend. This is a squad where nobody feels better than everybody else, and I think that's really important.
Luis Ángel Pérez de Mundo Deportivo. El año pasado, tanto el entrenador como algunos compañeros se quejaron del estado del césped.
Last year, there were complaints about the pitch at Granada. What do you remember about the field? Well, the pitch is a minimum excuse, really. But at Granada, they should know that it was really their fault, because the first goal they let in came when the ball hit an irregular piece of turf. So we'll see whether the pitch is damp or dry, how we can deal with the conditions.
A mí me gustaría saber su opinión acerca del nivel mostrado en los últimos años por esta competición, porque hace ya cuatro
Asking about English clubs in the Champions League recently, no side from England has been in the Champions League final for 4 years, and Leicester City surprised everyone by beating all the big clubs to the title. Well, I was in England. And I was surprised when teams didn't get to the semi-finals. This year, I think Manchester City did, but I think you really need to get some rest in football. And in England, they get no rest. In December, you play games every 2 or even 3 days. I think you do need some kind of a rest. Here in Spain, teams do get that, and I think players appreciate that very much. I think it has a lot to do with their fitness, and they do tire as the season progresses. Going back to the brown envelopes, what do you think motivates a player most, winning the league or being given some money to win a match? I think, as I said at the start, I think a player's pride, playing for their colours, for their team, is what matters most to a player. Here at Barcelona, we just want Barca to win. Granada will want to end the season on a winning note. And I think that's more important than anything else. But I don't think that they're ever going to be more ambitious than we are going into this game. You can't win the Champions League every year, but you could win the double, which is also a major achievement. It's a long time since, well, it seems strange that Barca winning the double may lose some of its worth because Real Madrid could win the Champions League. And do you think that this could take some of the merit away from Barca's season? No, we have to think about the merits of what we've achieved. We're now in the position to win 2 out of 3 competitions, which is something that we can feel pleased about. Let's worry about the league coming up on Saturday. Then it's the Copa del Rey the week after. Then what happens in the Champions League final, that's not our concern, really.
¿Ser el máximo goleador en un equipo en el que juega Messi?
Would you be surprised to be the top scorer in a team where Messi is playing? Well, the number 9, the centre forward's job is to go out and score goals. Leo has always liked scoring goals, but I think he's proud that he's still helping the team by scoring a goal. But I think he'll be more happy if we won the league, rather than whether he's the top goal scorer or not. A Uruguayan journalist. The last time we spoke, you were waiting for your return to the national team. So how do you feel going into the Copa America this summer? I'm really looking forward to it, of course. I've played some games already for my country. Now there's a nice tournament coming up in which Uruguay is always one of the candidates for the title, but we know it's very difficult because there are such strong teams in South America. The idea is to go there and win the tournament.
Sí, Ginés Muñoz de la agencia EFE. Me gustaría saber si te sentiste ninguneado por la FIFA en el último Balón de Oro y si entenderías que el próximo
that
estar entre los
FIFA
finalistas
snubbed you somewhat with the Ballon d'Or awards and that this year you might win the Ballon d'Or. Well, those are prizes that will be analysed in their time, but that's not really something that matters at the moment or something that I remember really right now. I don't really carry any kind of grudges, certainly not regarding the Ballon d'Or. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Tomorrow, Luis Enrique will be sitting in this same seat a little bit later on in the day. Keep an eye on the website for the starting time.